During my prenatal checkup at the hospital, I witnessed my husband Ethan emerging from another OBGYN clinic with a young woman in his arms. Seeing his radiant smile, I walked straight into the adjacent examination room. The doctor kept double-checking my resolve, only issuing the paperwork after confirming my composure. Resting my hand on my flat abdomen, I felt no remorse about terminating the pregnancy. No child deserves to enter this world fatherless. After leaving the hospital, I raced home to inventory all marital assets and retain City B's top divorce attorney. Ethan and I were childhood sweethearts from the same residential compound. When his family's business expanded during his 8th grade year, they moved away. We unexpectedly reunited at the same university in City B. Ethan's striking looks made him campus royalty since freshman orientation, while I entered as the finance and mathematics dual-degree valedictorian, later becoming a professor. He pursued me relentlessly until our graduation day marriage. Everyone considered us the golden couple. 3.5 years of seamless romance. Not a single marital conflict. The world saw him as the perfect husband, handsome, successful CEO, doting partner. I believed that too, until seeing him escort that woman from the maternity ward. He stumbled home next morning, reeking of another woman's perfume. When he moved to embrace me on the sofa, I recoiled. "Remember what yesterday was?" I asked coldly. Ethan blinked before adopting that practiced concerned expression. "Vivi, I'm sorry. Client negotiations ran late. I didn't want to disturb your rest. I'll accompany you to the next appointment. Promise." I nearly laughed. What prenatal care? Our child's already gone. Clenching my fists to resist clawing his hypocritical face, I stated coolly, "Forget appointments. I'm securing retirement housing for my parents. Transfer the deed to your lakeside villa." His eyes darted away guiltily. "Who needs his company? I want assets." "It's undergoing renovations," he stammered. "Let me wire funds instead. Choose any property." "Aw. That villa's already occupied, probably by yesterday's pregnant mistress." Meeting my unwavering gaze, he squirmed. "We'll process the transfer this week," he conceded. "Never mind." I leaned away, scarlet lips curling. "It's too remote. I'll select elsewhere." Extending my palm, I demanded his credit card. He readily surrendered his platinum card, but I instantly noticed the missing secondary card. Both supplementary cards were originally mine until Ethan reclaimed one months ago, claiming security concerns. The red flags were their ID just been blind. But not anymore. I tossed my bank card into the bag, my expression softening. Ethan leaned in to kiss me, but I pressed my palm against his chest. "I'm not feeling well. Move back before I vomit on your expensive suit." My gaze traveled across his face, lingering on the fresh love bite peeking above his collar. TSK, how bold of her. "Still having morning sickness after 3 months?" he asked, adjusting his cufflinks. I bit back a sarcastic retort. "The worst episode happened last night. Good thing you stayed out. I only ruined your Egyptian cotton pillowcase." "Had you been home," I trailed off meaningfully. His jaw tightened almost imperceptibly. "I'll sleep in the guest room tonight." Perfect. His obsessive cleanliness always surfaced at the most convenient times. Funny how this germaphobe never hesitated to roll around with his mistress. "I'll shower first." He paused at the bathroom door. "You should stop wearing makeup. Vivi. It's not healthy for the baby." The lock clicked. I drew my knees to my chest, cold fury replacing my earlier act. As if his affair was healthier than my lipstick. He left at dawn next morning. By 9 a.m., I sat in a law firm's conference room flipping through brochures. "Mrs. Foster?" The associate entered with an unfamiliar attorney. "We've reassigned your case to Liam, our top divorce specialist." I arched an eyebrow at the stern-faced man. "Well, this is a surprise." My high school desk partner now wore $3,000 suits and an impassive expression. Liam set his laptop aside without acknowledging our history. State your objectives. MS. Young. I want my husband destroyed. I crossed my legs, enjoying how his polished loafers flinched. Financially eviscerated. Every cent he spent on his mistress clawed back. The divorce finalized before this. I gestured to my barely visible bump. Becomes obvious. Murder isn't my practice area. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. Though I suppose sudden financial ruin has been known to trigger unfortunate accidents. I laughed despite myself. How much for this consultation? 5,000 hourly. He glanced at his Patek. You've already spent 800 reminiscing about homicide. Let's focus on legal annihilation then. I slid a flash drive across the mahogany table. His offshore accounts. Hidden properties. The apartment he bought his 22-year-old nutritionist. My smile turned razor sharp. I want it all. Making a scene wouldn't help, it might even tip him off and ruin our financial plans. When Vivi discovered Ethan's affair, did she confront him immediately? Of course not. I'm not stupid. Liam nodded, scribbling notes with a pen. You handled this well. Now gather evidence of Ethan's infidelity and document all marital assets. Once confronted, force him to sign a post-nuptial agreement. Post-nuptial agreement? I scoffed, shifting in my chair. That only works on idiots. Ethan's no fool. He'd rather secretly drain accounts than sign away his money. Knowing him, he'd retaliate by hiding assets the moment I breathed a word about divorce. Our consultation dragged for 2 hours and 10 minutes. I'd hoped Liam might waive those extra minutes for old-time sake, or at least offer a discount. But his next words crushed that delusion. Normally I'd charge for the full 3 hours. But considering our history, let's call it $15,000. Sliding my card across the reception desk. I smirked. Since I paid for 3 hours, can we spend the leftover 50 minutes discussing this over coffee? Liam glanced at his watch. Leave your contact info. I'll follow up. He vanished into his office before I could blink, a not-so-subtle dismissal. The receptionist handed back my card. Are you and Mr. Howard estranged? Old classmates. Her eyebrows shot up. He's usually kinder to clients. Always waives minor fees. Guess I'm special. I snorted, heading out. A week's investigation revealed everything: Ethan's secret villa, his mistress, and her decade-long boyfriend who moved in whenever Ethan left. The photos made me laugh until tears streamed down my face. Poetic justice, his side piece using his money to fund her own affair. Back at the law firm, I tossed the evidence file at Liam 30 minutes later. Bank records. GPS logs from his car. Useless? Surveillance footage works. Hidden cameras in the villa. He dismissed the grainy affair photos but paused at the property records. It's still under his name. Install discrete monitors. I dabbed my teacup's condensation, grinning. So sneaking footage is wrong. But him sneaking around isn't? Liam's jaw tightened. For once, the unflappable lawyer had no comeback. Mr. Howard isn't married yet? I casually asked, noticing the bare fingers of the man across from me. Busy with work. And given the nature of my profession, marriage could pose certain risks. Liam's response made me chuckle. True enough. If we swapped Ethan with you in this divorce, I'd probably walk away empty-handed. Hell, I might even end up in debt. Not necessarily. Liam kept his eyes on organizing documents, deliberately avoiding my gaze. He held the file folder firmly without offering it to me. Better keep these at the office. Safer than risking Ethan finding them at home. Come by the firm if you need anything. My eyes drifted to his hands as I murmured agreement. Having evidence stored at his secure office definitely beat my shaky home situation. Old classmate. Let's exchange contacts. I pulled out my phone, genuinely thinking it'd streamline future meetings. Inappropriate. I'm at the firm weekdays, just drop by. His crisp refusal made me shrug and pocket the device. Let me settle your consultation fee then. My fingers brushed my wallet when he stopped me. Check the clock. His smirk matched the wall clock showing exactly 2 hours and 10 minutes, our usual session duration. You're writing off $15,000 just like that? Keep your money unless you're feeling charitable. He stood, feeding discarded documents into the shredder. Guess I'll thank my generous classmate? I smirked. While I could afford it, why pay when favors worked better? I'd just slip him extra after finalizing the divorce. Leaving the law firm during Ethan's company lunch break, I drove straight to Foster Enterprises. I needed his travel schedule to install surveillance cameras at the suburban villa during his next business trip. No doubt he'd take his mistress along, those two were practically glued together lately. Ethan's startled expression when I appeared at his office door almost made me laugh. His poorly concealed panic intensified when a feminine figure emerged from his private lounge. Vivi. This is Riley. My executive assistant. The woman recovered faster than her boss, smoothing her pencil skirt. She was just tidying up the lounge. My smile sharpened as I studied Riley. Since when do assistants handle housekeeping? We should hire proper staff. Her cheeks flushed pink. This homewrecker didn't just clean offices, she'd graduated to bedding executives and carrying their illegitimate children. I'll get back to work. Mrs. Foster. Riley brushed past me, throwing Ethan a lingering glance while closing the door. Their brazen eye contact practically screamed guilt. Leaning against the door frame, I watched Ethan's awkward approach. What brings you here, sweetheart? Missed my husband. My saccharine tone dripped irony as I edged toward his desk. You've been so busy lately. The highlighted corporate calendar caught my eye, a business trip to San Francisco starting Thursday. Memorizing departure and return dates. I barely registered Ethan's nervous rambling. Let him sweat. By this time next week, hidden cameras would expose every sordid detail of his affair. I feigned nonchalance as I responded. Don't worry about me. I'll stay with my parents for a few days. Just came to check on things. My gaze lingered on Ethan's desk calendar before I lived away. Let me walk you down. Ethan reached for my hand, his fingers closing around mine before I could pull back. No need. Focus on your company matters. I extracted myself from his grasp and strode out of the CEO's office. The door swung open to reveal Riley waiting in the corridor. Mrs. Foster. I brought documents for Mr. Foster. I tilted my chin upward without acknowledging her, clutching my handbag tighter as I marched toward the elevators. My skin crawled where Ethan had touched me, driving me to the executive floor's restroom. Under the sensor-activated faucet's stream, I scrubbed vigorously until my fingers turned pink. Did you hear Mrs. Foster visited? Think she knows about Ethan and Riley? Wouldn't she be making a scene if she did? Beautiful wife at home and he still chases his secretary, typical man. I blotted my hands with paper towels. The employee's whispers confirming what I'd suspected. During Ethan and Riley's last business trip, I'd installed surveillance in our vacation home. But why stop there? Obtaining evidence of hotel indiscretions would strengthen my divorce case. Cross-referencing Ethan's schedule led me to the Cloud Haven Hotel. Hello. I'd like to extend the reservation for Ethan. I smiled at the receptionist. Room 6026? Extending Mr. Foster's stay? That's correct. How thoughtful of the dutiful wife to prolong her husband's affair. My hired photographers waited discreetly in the lobby, their professional gear ensuring crisp facial shots. On the 6th floor, I dialed emergency services. I'd like to report illegal activities in room 6026 at Cloud Haven Hotel. Hanging up, I instructed the photographers, capture clear face shots when the door opens. Police arrived within 10 minutes. The housekeeping announcement, the door cracked open to reveal Riley's startled face before officers stormed in. Camera shutters clicked furiously amid the chaos, documenting every humiliating detail as officers escorted the bathrobe-clad pair through the lobby. Ethan spent 2 nights in custody before lawyers proved this was merely an illicit affair rather than prostitution. Still, the scandal tarnished the Foster family's golden boy reputation. I boarded the flight to City B that evening with the damning photos secured in my carry-on, along with generous bonuses. For the photographers, traffic delayed my arrival at the law firm until 8 p.m. Liam looked unexpectedly approachable without his signature glasses. "We'll be ready to file sooner than expected," I stated, placing the evidence envelope on his desk. The endgame with Ethan was approaching faster than either of us anticipated. "These were taken by someone I hired in City Est. They should work as evidence of Ethan's infidelity, right?" I slid the photos and negatives across the table toward Liam before pulling out my phone to review additional shots the photographer had just sent. The panic on Ethan's face in the images, his desperate attempts to shield himself from view, gave me unexpected satisfaction. "Solid evidence," Liam remarked, tapping the photo of Ethan being pinned by officers. "But care to explain why police got involved?" "Reported him for solicitation." "What did you expect me to do? Storm in and beat up Riley myself?" I pocketed my phone, crossing my arms as I faced my attorney. "Handled countless divorce cases, but never seen anyone as composed as you, Miss Young. What good would hysterics do? Clarity serves my interests best." My attempt at a polite smile faltered. Too many forced grins lately had drained my capacity for pretense. "Save the act. Once we confirm Ethan's cohabitation with that woman, confront him immediately. If maintaining full asset transfer remains your goal, get him to notarize property reassignment before filing." I leaned over the desk, palms flattening against the wood. "Guarantee me a win, Liam. Lawyers aren't fortune tellers, Vivi. But I'll fight tooth and nail to prevent loss." His quiet assurance held layers of unspoken strategy, like his earlier tip about surveillance footage trumping paparazzi shots, which had inspired my covert camera installation at Ethan's suburban villa. Ethan crawled home 2 weeks after his City S business trip, the police station ordeal clearly haunting him. "Vivi, I'm back." Perfect timing. I cut him off, hurling duplicate evidence files, photos scattered across the floor, compromising shots of him nuzzling Riley's neck landing at his Italian loafers. As he knelt to gather the damning images, the performance began. "I never meant to lie. Riley means nothing. I'll cut all ties." Then explain the shared apartment lease? I reclined on the sofa, watching his Oscar-worthy contrition. Typical male playbook: apologize first, deflect later. His hands shook holding the ultrasound printout showing Riley's pregnancy. "When did you find out?" "The day I saw you two outside the OBGYN clinic." "You investigated me?" His mask slipped, outrage mixing with guilt. "Don't flatter yourself. Guilty men leave trails." I massaged my temples, disgust crystallizing. How had I ever fallen for this charlatan? His courtroom composure resurfaced as he methodically collected every scrap of evidence. "What's your endgame, Vivian?" "Simple. Transfer every asset you own to me." The prolonged silence stretched before his retreating mutter, "I need time." True to form, Ethan moved into Riley's place that night. Let them play house soon enough. The Foster family fortune would fund single motherhood, mine. I wasn't in a hurry at all. After having someone investigate Riley and her boyfriend, I used an overseas account to send the information to Ethan's email. Instead of receiving news about Ethan's outburst, I learned he'd been in a car accident. It seemed pretty serious. Looks like Ethan was head over heels for Riley. No wonder he got so emotionally distraught that he crashed. I dressed up at home before driving to the hospital. Upon arrival, I didn't rush to the patient room but went straight to the doctor's office. "Hello. I'm Ethan Foster's family member. Could you update me on his condition?" The patient sustained severe injuries, particularly to his lower extremities, before the doctor could finish. I casually thought worst-case scenario he'd end up with a limp. Then came the bombshell: he's lost all reproductive capabilities. My foot froze mid-step as I exited the office before bursting into laughter. "Perfect. Make sure you don't cure that part. Karma's a bitch." The doctor sat speechless, probably thinking I'd snapped. After leaving the office, I headed to Ethan's room. The door was slightly ajar. Riley was inside. "Ethan." I never meant to lie, peering through the gap. The dialogue felt eerily familiar. Oh right. Hadn't Ethan fed me those exact lines during our confrontation? "Get out! Take that bastard in your womb and disappear." My eyes widened. So Riley's baby wasn't his after all. Ethan got played at his own game. Their shouting match lasted until nurses intervened. Spotting me at the doorway, Riley turned ghostly pale, mouth opening soundlessly before brushing past me. Ethan called out desperately, "Vivi." I settled into the visitor's chair. "Vivi, I've ended things with Riley. You wanted my assets? They're all yours. We'll finalize everything after discharge. I swear I'll never cheat again." His tearful pledge almost included groveling. Never cheat again? I smirked. With his equipment destroyed, how could he? Wait until discharge? But I need security for me and our child now. Ethan. A tear child. He immediately called lawyers to draft documents, even signing a post-nuptial agreement under my coaxing. Watching his pathetic reversal, disgust churned in my gut. Oh, and I've got attorneys reclaiming everything you gave Riley. His silence confirmed consent. Next day, I visited Liam. "Here's the post-nup and notarized papers. File my divorce lawsuit." Liam worked fast. Ethan received papers before leaving his wheelchair. He confronted me immediately. "Vivi, we've settled everything. Name your terms. I'll meet them all." When I remained impassive, he played the parent card. "What about our child's future?" "Child?" I laughed coldly. "I terminated that pregnancy the day you took Riley for her prenatal checkup." Poetic, isn't it? No time for your actual flesh and blood, but eager to play daddy to some stranger's kid. Now you can't father anyone's child. Ethan trembled, crashing from his wheelchair. "This isn't funny. Vivi." Who's laughing? At court mediation, Ethan still resisted divorce. Trial day arrived with him looking haggard. Not my concern anymore. If I could feel sorry for a cheater, how much of a saint am I? In court, Liam presented evidence of Ethan's infidelity and cohabitation with another person during their marriage. After the judge granted the divorce, I walked out of the courthouse with Liam. "Congratulations on being single again. Would it be inappropriate if I said likewise?" I quipped. Liam undid his suit buttons and draped the jacket over his arm. "Not at all. Since we're old classmates, would you mind exchanging contacts?" His use of old classmates surprised me. He'd always addressed me formally as Miss Young before, never acknowledging our shared college years. Exchange contacts? Isn't that inappropriate? Planning to represent me during my next divorce. Counselor? I suspected Liam wanted my contact for business development purposes. I sold all properties acquired during the marriage, including the matrimonial home Ethan and I shared. Moving into a condo near State University felt like reclaiming my life. I bought my parents an apartment in the same complex for convenience. Strangely, my post-divorce life involved daily encounters with Liam. We turned out to be next-door neighbors. Not that either of us planned it. He'd moved in years earlier. Rushing through the elevator doors one late morning, I cursed my oversleeping before an important lecture. "Get in. I'll drive you." His car idled nearby, calculating the time needed to retrieve my own vehicle. I accepted. "No trouble. I'm heading that way anyway." He gestured to the passenger seat where coffee and breakfast sandwiches waited. Studying his profile, I remarked, "This sudden shift in demeanor is rather disorienting." "Counselor." "Really?" He deflected without explanation. During a red light, I broke the prolonged silence. How does a 30-year-old attorney stay perpetually single? Too busy billing hours? His looks alone should have attracted admirers. regardless of the lawyer stereotype. Want the truth or the polite version? Since you've prepared both, let's hear them. Polite answer: work consumes me. Truth? His gaze locked on mine. I've been waiting for your divorce. The blunt admission left me speechless. Recent interactions had hinted at this, but hearing it outright made me wish I'd never asked. At this speed, jumping from the car seemed ill-advised. I avoided Liam for 2 weeks, only leaving my apartment for teaching obligations. The stalemate broke when I found him helping my mother unload groceries. Mom, let me take those. Don't trouble Mr. Howard. I reached for the bags, but Liam shifted them beyond my grasp. Oh, hush. Vivi, Liam helped your father carry his fishing gear last week. And when I bought that crate of apples, my mother's effusive praise culminated in Liam's quiet interjection. Just being neighborly. Mom, why don't you take the groceries upstairs first? I need to talk with Liam for a moment. Mrs. Young, being the seasoned woman she was, glanced between us with knowing eyes. You know this young man, Vivi? Mrs. Young. Vivian and I were high school classmates. Liam answered smoothly. Recognition flashed across Mom's face. She remembered him being my desk partner sophomore year. All right then. Don't linger too long, she said, accepting the produce bags from Liam's hands with exaggerated slowness. Each step toward our apartment building radiating theatrical reluctance. Let me help you with those, Mrs. Young, Liam offered when she'd barely covered 10 feet in 5 minutes. No need. You two chat. She waved us off, finally disappearing through the lobby doors while still craning her neck to observe us. The moment she vanished, I turned to him. Liam, let's be clear, we're not compatible. After my disaster with Ethan, I'm not jumping into another marriage. Honestly, I might never remarry. Even if I did, it'd take years of vetting. My words came out blunt yet measured. No sense stringing along someone who deserved better. Do you dislike me, Vivi? Of course not. Truth was, Liam's persistent charm made him practically undislikable. If I couldn't stand him, my dating pool would dry up completely. Do you have feelings for me? Let's call it professional admiration. He nodded slowly. So there's no objection if I pursue this? Before I could fabricate an excuse to escape, movement caught my eye and Mom and Dad pressed against our third-floor window like nosy meerkats. Gotta go, I muttered, fleeing toward the building. 412 relentless months. Liam proved his dedication. Business trips included sunrise check-in texts. When my doorbell chimed at 7:03 a.m. that Saturday, I already knew who'd be holding almond milk lattes and avocado toast. Leaning against the doorframe, I cut him off mid-greeting. Let's try this. His grin turned boyishly goofy, shockingly uncharacteristic for the sharp litigator. Had he always smiled like a golden retriever meeting a tennis ball? Clients might have questioned his courtroom gravitas. Even as we settled into 5 surprisingly stable years together, lingering doubts whispered we weren't truly compatible. Yet through every minor spat, Liam's patience never wavered. Marriage remained our unspoken taboo. He knew my fears ran deeper than time could erase. That changed during a thinly veiled intervention over Mom's pot roast. You can't let one bad marriage paralyze you forever, she argued. What if happiness is waiting? And what if it crashes again? I countered, pushing roasted carrots around my plate. Ethan wasn't Liam. Dad interjected quietly. Don't punish the present for the past's crimes. Their words lingered. Maybe commitment wasn't a guarantee, but a leap of faith. The following week, I brought Liam to my parents' place with unexpected paperwork. Mr. and Mrs. Young, he began formally, producing a manila envelope. Hotel receipts from every work trip, single occupancy. My premarital assets can be jointly owned. No vices. This prenup states I'll forfeit everything if I ever cheat. His earnest expression sparked unexpected laughter. In that moment, I realized safety isn't demanded, it's built through morning lattes, decade-long patience, and legal documents drafted in love. Shortly after getting our marriage license, Liam and I found out we were expecting. The following year, we welcomed a daughter into our world. Time flew by in the blink of an eye. Yet through it all, he still loved me just as much as he did on our wedding day.